guys, first of all, sorry we haven't posted in several months like we said we would, but we got really busy. I run a heavy work schedule. She's been running a heavy school schedule, and probably next semester it's going to be kind of the same. A little
Yeah.
bit of silence because it's going to be just us pounding it. But we did want to take a second to update you on what's been going on with her as far as stem cell treatments have been going and what kind of effect it's had on her so far. First of all, let's talk about insulin. What's happened with your insulin?
So my insulin needs have lowered. My daily, with my meals and my nighttime. Let's see. I was taking like 12 units at every meal, and now it's dropped. It ranges depending on what I eat, but it's dropped. And my nighttime, I was taking 12.
Yeah, you're taking 12 to 14.
Yeah, twice a day, once in the morning and then once before bed. And now I'm taking 10 in the morning, and I don't need any at night.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's awesome. Like, literally, unless she has an infection, which can happen sometimes, like, literally 0 at night. We've never seen that, ever, since she's been a diabetic. So, she went from 12 units a night to 0. And it's as she was getting used to it, like, she kept going low because her body was just needing less and less insulin at night. So we're hoping to see if maybe that happens during the day at some point. So
maybe after school. Like, I feel really fortunate that I haven't had to have any problems during school. It's always been whenever I get home at night. So
yeah, and a little disclaimer here too. Michelle, because of how busy school was, she hasn't been able to do her hyperbaric chamber treatments as much as they recommended. So in spite of that, she's still been able to do really, really well with it. Also, what about the asthma? One of the things she didn't just do a treatment for her diabetes. They took some of those stem cells, put it into a vaporizer of a sort.
yeah.
I can't think of the actual name for it right now.
I can't either.
A nebulizer.
Yeah.
A nebulizer. They put it in a nebulizer for her. And so how's that gone with your asthma?
Well, good. I haven't needed any asthma medicine except one time in 5 months.
Yeah, and that was because we had to lay down some carpet and scrape some of that popcorn stuff off the ceiling. So, okay, what about she used to, anytime if somebody sneezed within 3 miles of this woman, okay, she was going to be sick. That was just all there is to it. If somebody was ill around her, she was going to be sick. Now, having done the semester in school, she's had several of her classmates show up to school sick, sniffling, really should be home and not near her. But what happened?
Nothing. I didn't get sick.
Not once.
Not once.
That was exciting. She was sure every time she came home. She was like, that's it. I'm going to be sick. I'll die tomorrow. But she was fine. Okay. Now, around about November then, something also started happening, and I think it's because she started taking so little insulin. One of the things that happens is whenever you have to take more, insulin is an inflammatory hormone. Our bodies are really supposed to have tiny, tiny amounts.
It's also a fat-building hormone.
It's also a fat-building hormone. And so when you have more insulin, you're going to have more fat because there's more insulin, because it takes leftover sugars, fats, just nutrients. It takes leftover nutrients and converts it into fat. So if you have a bunch of insulin, there's a lot of insulin making a lot of fat. So what started happening in November?
I started losing weight.
Okay. And how much weight have you lost so far?
16 pounds.
16 pounds. Just melting right off of her. And she's been eating the same way. This woman eats a very strict diet. She doesn't eat any carbohydrates. She's very careful with what she puts in her body. And yet she really struggled to kind of do any. I mean, she worked like crazy, and it was frustrating for her because she worked out so hard and she ate right and did all these things and couldn't lose the weight. Now all of a sudden, boom, 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 it's just coming right off. So it's really awesome. And so the only thing that, and I guess it's not a bad thing. It's just having her body getting adjusted to the changes. Is that there has been some ebb and flow with the insulin needs. So kind
I
of
think that's a good thing, because with the stem cell treatment, you don't want to, like the doctors say, you don't want to just have this drop. And so I like it that, some days, a few days I'll have these weird lows, and then it'll kind of mellow out. But if you look over, if you look through 2 weeks of going through something, you see that, wow, my insulin has dropped by a unit. Um, and so I like that. Um, this kind of, like literally for 2 days my sugars will be low. I really won't know how much to take, and then it'll go back up to what it was, and it'll stay there, and then it'll drop again, or it'll drop and it'll stay dropped. And I like that it's slow. I
yeah.
like that.
And if you were to look, I guess a good way to illustrate, if you think of those line charts where they kind of go, they start high and then they come down, then bounce back up, then go down further, bounce back up, then go down further. That's kind of what it's like, But if you plot the 2 points into a straight line between the two of them, you definitely see a
Yeah.
dramatic decrease. And so overall, as far as I'm concerned, it was worth the time, the energy, everything, the money that went into it. And so but we're at about the 5 month mark, and so we're gonna update with you whenever we have time and the ability, and as we see things continue to change. Thank you for a few minutes of watching this, and share this with your friends that have type 1 diabetes or other autoimmune diseases, because this is really something that may make a big difference for them.
Mm-hmm.
So God bless.